Hi guys, and welcome to Pitch Please. Today we are going live. If you can't tell, I don't know if I should have bothered to actually fucking saying that, but we are live.
Don't break the fourth wall.
So going back on track. My name's Dan. You can see my name is. Oh, this is really weird because this is back to front from it here. My name. This is Jimmy. Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm Jimmy.
This still messed me up. This messed me up the last episode because I went to point to you in the last episode, but it's back to front.
I'd completely forgotten about this aspect of this recording situation.
It really throws your mind.
Yeah, we entered the mirror universe.
But the thing is, I've just got off. I'm sorry, my phone is like making weird noises, so I'm putting that down. The thing is, I've just got off the back of not drinking for 6 weeks, and now to have this happening to me,
that's a triple whammy.
The universe is just fucking with me, and now I'm drinking lager to get over it. Well, I really should get into what we're here for. Anyway, we are here for bad movies, and this is what this podcast is. Today's movie is a Star Wars ripoff. Even though they say it isn't. It's got Christopher Plummer, R.I.P., and the Hoff. It's also got Caroline Monroe, who is a Bond girl. It's John Barry did music.
Mm-hmm.
Who's also got Tyson James Bond. He did 11 of the James Bond movies, the music for them.
He's essentially he's the signature sound of Bond.
Yeah. You got Joe Spinell, who has been in Godfather, Rocky, Maniac. I mean, like classic movies. Really,
he's got a great filmography that I was really taken by that because we've seen this a few times, this movie, haven't we? So
yeah.
I think that was the biggest surprise, the biggest takeaway for me was, wow, he's a face, he's a known name.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did this film originally watching it, and I think I was like, that guy's amazing. So I did a kind of a deep dive into where he is, what he's everything like that, even to his death, which is really weird and disgusting, but it's weird. He like slipped over in his shower, smashed the glass, and really, really stabbed himself badly with the glass. Then had a bath instead, and went and laid on his sofa and died.
I was not aware he had such a strange death.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Sounds like a Final Destination deleted scene.
He didn't even bother calling a hospital or anything. It's just,
blimey.
Yeah. And then we've also got the late Christopher Plummer in this film, who worked on this film for 3 days. He was paid $10,000 a day to work on this film.
Okay. Wow. And was he kind of sweet talk? Did they sweet talk him into appearing in this film because of where it was made? Perhaps was that if I remember that correctly?
Yes, you have. So he did it because he wanted a holiday in Rome.
Yeah.
And his quote on that was, "I did this to go to Rome. You could have paid me to do porno in Rome, and I would have turned up." I mean, this is a film I affectionately call "Boobs in Space." Anyway, so it's boobs in space, because that's what it is. I mean, it is played out like it's meant to be a family film, but realistically, there is so many boobs. Not like out, but hidden underneath clothing, but not very well hidden. Yeah, I mean, you can tell this is one of those Italian like rip-offs. You can really tell you live in Hackney, man. There's like police sirens everywhere.
I was going to say, is that being picked up? No sound effects here. It's real.
Welcome to East London, fam. Yeah. I was going to say I was going to go into the plot of this film, but the plot is pretty basic. It's like, so you've got Stella Star played by Carolyn Munro. You've got Acton played by. Oh God, he's got a really weird name.
His name is Marjo Gortner.
Thank you. The tone of voice that said that, it actually amused me. Yeah, he plays Acton. His character's name is more normal than his own name.
Is Acton a robot?
I think we should get into that later.
We'll get into that later. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting into the plot here, man.
Yeah.
The kind of plot. Yeah, they get arrested, but then the Emperor, played by Christopher Plummer, employs them to find his son.
Mm.
And they travel through space trying to find the prince, which is amazing when they do. I'm saving that for later. It's my favorite moment for so many reasons. Oh God, I haven't drunk for 6 weeks and burping like. I'll go into this because throughout the whole of it, I said to my mate, "I'm like Jesus now. I'm pure." Except I don't hang. Except I'm better than Jesus because I don't hang around with prostitutes.
You're the cleaner cut version.
The clean cut version.
Yeah, not half cut, clean cut.
That's all, I told my mum that joke. She went, "Watch out! You might upset somebody." I went, "Fuck it." I love this film. I'll be honest with you because it's very stereotypical, like Italian. It's Italian Euro trash from the 70s. When Italians just used to put women in bikinis and men in vampire capes. Because that's Count Zarfan. He's Saturday morning cartoon villain in a cape.
Oh yeah.
He looks like Thingy from X-Men.
Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister. That's it. He looks like Mr. Sinister. With that evil cackle as well. Just every single scene he has to get that in.
Yeah, he does that cackle with always with throwing his head back. Like with gusto.
All I wanted him to do was just grab the cape and just whip it like this. And just
yeah, he's a Saturday morning cartoon villain brought to life.
But he was one of my favourite things in this film. Was he your favourite character? Would you say? I don't think I have a favourite character in this film. I actually have to say. Because they all bring something to the table that's completely unnecessary. and I think that's the point of this film. I mean, it's like the campest of the sci-fi films I think we've ever watched.
It is,
even
definitely.
Down to the stars. Like the stars look like Christmas tree lights.
Yeah, they look like 70s Christmas lights. Like I expected, sort of Slade and Wizard to come out playing music when that backdrop appeared.
I think we should get into that a little bit. I'm going to pull up something now.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here you can see this this guy here. That's one of the model spaceships. So this is right at the beginning of the film, I should say. This spaceship here is, well, I think it's meant to be of the elite guard, but let's do this. So you can see, like, what I love about this is it's meant to be like big and like imposing, but that looks like a squashed lunchbox, man. Like, I did want to get this scene in because there is a reason, and it's about to come up. Now, this is how you know they love their sci-fi. So, see if you just got it. Yes, you know where I'm going. And here we go. Pause that in time. That is the name of a sci-fi writer called Murray Leinster. Cool. Later on in that scene, I think we can call it a scene. It's one long scene, I'm guessing. They do ask for General Bradbury.
They do indeed, yes.
Yeah.
There's a shout out.
There's a shout out to Bradbury as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can tell there is a lot of love to sci-fi in this film. But, there is another scene shortly following that, which I said to you I want to show. But that will be coming in a later conversation when we're talking about something else. Okay. But I mean that whole scene was a bit weird because it was meant to be like that really imposing moment in the first Star Wars where you see the ship come and it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. It's just like a really slow thing. This was like really, really quick, but I don't think the model was big enough for what they were trying to do.
There's definitely a feeling with some of the ship stuff in this where, I still admire that the model making process and that, but it kind of feels like they're just thrown across the screen.
What I love about every single ship in this, it flies in straight lines. Like even when it turns corners, it turns a corner like that. Sharp turns in space, man. I love this film. Again, I love this film, and I think that's why we're doing it on this episode because, as much as it is a bad film, it's a film I could talk about for about 3 hours. So we're going to kind of try and keep this short.
It's supposed to be a bad film, but I mean, I think we've enjoyed it every time we've watched it, haven't we?
But I think we've enjoyed it because it's bad.
Yeah, that's
the point of this. Everything in this film is made really badly, but there's you can kind of feel the love and passion that's gone behind making it. I can't. Yes, sorry. Drink for a think.
I get the sense that there's definitely a touch of like sort of Ray Harryhausen, Jason and the Argonauts in this film.
Well, So director who goes on this film as under the pseudonym Lewis Coates. His actual name is Luigi Cosi. So he wrote this. He wrote this film, and he was a massive fan of Sinbad: The Great Voyage.
Right?
Is it The Great Voyage?
Great Voyage of Sinbad or Seventh Voyage of Sinbad?
Something like that.
Quite a few, yeah.
And Caroline Monroe was in that as well.
Oh yeah, so it's similar time, isn't it?
Yeah, she was in that as well. So he wrote this to be Sinbad in space.
Right.
The film was picked up. Canadians. It says it's a Canadian-Italian film.
Wow, what an interesting combo.
Yeah, but it's filmed in Italy, funded by Canadians, made by Italians. Star Wars had come out, and they wanted to do a Star Wars like film. So he's had this script for a while, and then they made him do a Star Wars version, but he had never seen Star Wars.
Right.
The only version of Star Wars he had any access to was the novelization.
Okay.
So he read the novel and then wrote the script again.
Okay.
So what you're seeing is a guy's interpretation of what he read instead of a straight rip-off of the film.
We're sort of seeing a blind Star Wars.
Yeah. I've always described this film as a 5-year-old trying to describe Star Wars to you.
Yeah. And weirdly, parts of it did remind me of like the prequels. And if you read the annotated screenplays to the original Star Wars, it was more like the prequels. So it's kind of interesting that that's the tone I took from this film. But Yeah, it does. It does kind of feel like a kid trying to explain a movie to you, as opposed to an actual plot.
Yes. So this again, this is a Roger Corman film as well. So it's a Roger Corman production, and he used this as a tester to see if that kind of schlocky sci-fi would sell.
Okay.
So he did this, and then off the back of that was the other Star Wars.
Was it Battle Beyond the Stars? That he did after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen both, and that is the slicker of the two. Like, it's I get this Battle Beyond the Stars looks like Star Wars compared to this.
But then again, I prefer this.
Yeah.
This has a bit more heart to it. Right. This has a heart. I said to you before, it's like when one of my favorite moments is there is a moment where the first time you meet Christopher Plummer is when they're being given their mission by Christopher Plummer through hologram, but I think they're meant to be on the ship he lives on.
Yeah, that bit was a bit weird. Like, I wasn't quite sure about what was supposed to be going on.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if they were still on their same ship because they used the same set for their own spaceship as they did for his spaceship.
Right.
So, but either way, he goes in on a hologram. He's either being the laziest fecker in the world, or they predicted COVID, and that's like a Zoom meeting.
Yes.
But the thing that really got me on that is like he gives out his instructions, but he's a hologram, and he still goes to walk away.
Yeah, that bit is really confusing. Yeah.
Yeah. If that had happened in like Star Wars, like literally the Star Wars nerds would lose their shit. Twitter would have to like double its servers, like to store all the fucking comments that are being made. And I'm sitting there and I physically watch a hologram walk away, turn around because it realizes what it's there to tell you. Tells you the point, and then does the normal hologram.
I almost wondered if when he filmed that scene, they weren't 100% of like, is this going to be a recorded message or is he supposed to be in the room? We don't know. We'll just do something with this at some point.
Christopher Plummer's amazing because he's just Christopher Plummer. God rest his soul, man. We decided to do this, I think, about 3 weeks before that, or a month before that.
We did, yeah. His passing, like we heard after we had decided to look at this, I think.
No, I was standing and I in this whole situation, I go and do my exercise an hour a day, and I think you messaged me whilst I was on my run, and I was like, oh fuck, okay. It just makes the talking about that about his character in general quite somber. And I think the lucky thing with this is, and it sounds really bad when I say it, but I don't think it is. I mean, I don't, because I love the guy so much. I don't particularly want to talk about him too much because it will bring the mood. But yeah, I mean that guy, he did some epic, memorable characters from. I mean, you're talking about the guy from The Sound of Music, you know, and he does this. So I said to you, I really hope this is on his reel in the Oscars.
Well, this is the thing. When I gave this another watch before we did this, like we started doing this today, and the thing I noticed was watching it now. I'm like, I'm really happy that he gets these really good speeches in the film. Yeah, I think he actually gets the last. I think the last line in the film is him, and he says something. Well, I was like, I was almost welling up. He says, "Yeah, for a little time at least we can rest." And I was like, "Oh man, that's got me."
Yeah, it's Plummer, man. Plummer.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, he's been throughout my childhood and throughout yours. Let's just say that, man. He man of taste and class, and a cracking sense of humor.
Absolutely.
Best friends with William Shatner as well.
Yeah. He was. I think Shatner got to pick the villain in his last Star Trek movie, and he picked him to be the villain in Star Trek 6. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, sorry, because there's going to be audio as well. There's going to be an audio version of this, so I should explain. I just saluted.
Audio description. Dan salutes.
There's a guy in the corner going.
But did you find? I found that when we first watched this, because it's because of the sort of quality of the film, I was almost quite surprised that Plummer and John Barry were involved at all.
Oh, do you know what? Actually, when you said quality of the film, I thought you were about to go into something that I was going to go into a bit later, and I was like, "Let's not go there." But yes, I get where you're going.
Yeah, because
I get where you're going.
Yeah, I did a bit of research, and apparently the filmmakers were actually scared to let John Barry see the film.
Yeah, I know.
So I have to say that kudos to the producers here, because they really sweet talk some high-end people into working on this thing.
So I just can imagine it, John Barry coming in and Steve sitting in the corner. Space Steve, should we say, sitting in the corner.
I just imagine another phone. I think the same guy who phoned Christopher Plummer phoning John Barry, like, "We'll give you a holiday in Rome." And it's like, actually, I quite fancy that. What is it going to be? It's going to be like the next Star Wars. Okay, yeah. I'm in.
But I just think to myself, like, can I see it? No, we haven't finished it yet. There's a whole ream of reel over there. No.
I like to think they said something to him like, "We don't want you to see the finished product because we want you to you want your music to speak for itself." Like they use some kind of like sweet talking arty way of making him of hoodwinking him.
In my head, I just had this picture of a guy in a trench coat going, "There's nothing behind me."
Cinematic gaslighting.
Just move on, son. Move on. Make that music.
And yeah, it's a good John Barry score. Like it's an earworm. I've got it in my head.
Yeah, I mean the music's great, but the music is basically James Bond in space, which Moonraker. I mean, I think we spoke about that on Black Hole, like, that Star Wars had this influence of this stuff going on, and John Barry worked on Black Hole.
He did. He worked on Black Hole.
I forgot about that link.
Yeah, and he did some other some more explicitly science fictiony things like Howard the Duck. So yeah,
he has done some trash. We're going on. We are standing going, how did they get this man? And then you suddenly list off, like, we're listing off all his great stuff. I think he's a guy that just suddenly goes, "Oh, I've got no work at the moment. Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it."
Yeah, maybe when in between Bond movies, he just didn't look at scripts. Just like, look, I've got to this point now where, like, like George Lucas is producing this, I'll do it. No, Black Hole, it's Disney, I'll do it. Just
you got the Hoff? I'm doing Starcrash. You go through the list of some of the people, except for the one guy they make the main guy, and you go, Christopher Plummer, good actor. Caroline Monroe, all right, fair enough. She did like Hammer House, and she did like
she was a genre face.
Yeah, she was a face. You go Chris Plummer, you go her, you go John Barry, you go. Well, the Hoff wasn't a face at this point. I think
he was like, wasn't he like a model?
Yeah, he wouldn't have been really acting at this point. So yeah, I'm saying that. I'm. Do you know we say the Hoff within hindsight. He really wouldn't have been the main guy on that poster. The interesting thing about Marjo Gonski.
Yeah, the Acton.
Yeah, he was evangelist priest.
Yeah, he wasn't he like a kid evangelist priest? I looked
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I saw a photo. I saw a photo of him where he's 5, but looks exactly the same. He's still got that kind of perm.
Oh god, that perm is amazing. That's one of his many secret powers. To have perfect hair at all times.
Yes, him, and something I noticed about him and a lot of the actors in this film is, and I think I noticed this the first time, was it always feels like their audio's out of sync. It feels like they're dubbed, but then I looked it up, and I think apparently Caroline Munro was dubbed with another actress.
I think it was Marjo's wife.
Yeah, who like is a face, like she was in Man Who Fell to Earth.
Oh, was she? I didn't know that much. I knew she did the voice, which is why I found it weird, because I've seen Caroline Munro in a few things. I've seen her in like a B movie take on like The Omen, which I really, really want to do, by the way, so bad. That film is like so 60s.
What I don't get is why. Apparently, I mean, I'm just looking at this now, and it was Caroline Munro wasn't. It wasn't like a reason. But they had to dub the actors for some reason. They said that the post-production budget, they got Marjo Gortner Hoff, Christopher Plummer, and Joe Spinell back to dub stuff.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't. They couldn't be bothered to fly Caroline Munro over. It was purely a budgetary reason. So they got someone who was like in the country.
Racist sexists.
It's all levels of non-woke. It's all bad.
All her character was another reason to get her in a bikini.
Yeah.
Which I don't argue with. I mean, that she was a good-looking woman.
But the funny thing is, it kind of adds. I think it adds to the effect. Like I felt when I first watched this, I feel like I'm watching like a film that's probably in Italian. It looks like everyone's dubbed, even though they're actually saying, the actors are saying their own audio and stuff.
I did notice a few times, because I think the first version we ever watched of this was a really, really bad copy.
Right.
Now this is currently sitting on Amazon Prime. It's been HD'd up. This film does not suit HD.
Can you see the wires?
You can see everything.
Because I watched it on YouTube today, so I think that might have been
an
older one. Yeah.
So it's HD'd up on Prime, and
right.
I noticed some of the lines did not match at all what they were mouthing.
Right. Okay.
So some of the lines have been completely changed, and I'm like, you don't even try to hide that in a no. Can we have a line that's slightly like that one? I know you want to change it a little bit, but let's just change one word, not every word, please.
And quite a few of the scenes of Elle, the robot, the pacing of when you see the camera focus on him, and the way the actor reads the lines, it's so hurried. I feel like they just were like, we've got so many seconds of Elle here. Just read what's on this page, and he'd never seen it before. It was like, just adopt Hick voice and do it as quickly as possible. Like it's like that kind of. This used to be the case with like when I'd see old like anime series like Ulysses. You sometimes when you hear the dialogue back, I'm like, that sounds like the way a kid reads when they race through it, when they're racing through dialogue as if they've just read it.
The killer for that for me was Speed Racer.
Oh yeah, that was notorious for that sort of thing, wasn't it?
It'd be like,
speed reading. That's more like it.
I missed all that line. The monkey smashed something.
Story of my life.
But and there was little things like being HD'd up where they didn't actually. So they'd have somebody talking on the TV screen, but they wouldn't have been on TV screen in the set. They superimposed the image of the person talking onto the TV screen rather than actually put them on the actual TV screen, which would have been a lot easier just to plug a tape player in and put a tape playing. Like, you could see the screen floating off.
Yeah, it was kind of. It wasn't quite balanced on it properly, was
It
it?
was just,
Sort of like a ghost screen coming off that set.
it did. If the camera moved,
Mm.
the screen went. There's the amazing when they're getting sentenced, because I mean we should get they get arrested.
Oh yeah.
They're getting sentenced by that giant tentacle head thing.
Yes.
But I could see the tentacle head looking down, like it was
Yeah.
reading the script, because it wasn't in the room, so it knew you could get away with it. There's so many little things like this that you don't really notice until you've got the HD version, and you're like, yeah, this film should never have been put on HD.
I know I'm watching tonight. Give it another watch.
Well, it's like, have you ever watched Event Horizon since they remastered that into, I think, into 4K?
I don't think I have. No, I watched it about 5 years ago.
So yeah, that don't survive.
No, did it not look good in HD?
Well, there's that scene. The scene where there's no gravity and all like the cups and all that are floating about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it really doesn't look good.
Right.
It doesn't look like they're in the room.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You can see the outline.
Is that like 97?
Yeah, it's about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. So
Sam Neill being maniacal.
yeah, chewing the scenery.
Oh, fucking great! Talk about chewing the scenery, Mr. Spinell. I'm going back to him. I love the fact that he's a fat guy in PVC.
It's a tough look to pull off.
Fat guy
makes a valiant attempt
with a collar up to here and a full length cape. Oh, I want that cape.
He's like Space Dracula.
I want that cape so I can exit rooms epically. I will drop smoke bombs as I leave.
Yeah. Anytime you leave a meeting, you can do that as an exit.
Mate, I'll do it as I leave the pub. When we're allowed back in them. He's such a great character, and well, not character, actor on this. I think actually, I think he kind of like, he is obviously having the time of his life, and just rolling with it. I mean, there's the scene where you see the first time you kind of see his lair inside. And he's like sitting there on his throne, surrounded by all these like slave bikini women. You only see him for about 5 seconds, and he stands up and walks off, and they're all just looking at him as he walks away. Over to what I can only describe is a stripper cage with a strip pole going through the middle of it. I'm like, have you got a floating strip club in space?
I strongly suspect the actor had worse days.
No, yeah, exactly, mate. It's just this. I've got a strip club in space. Sexy spaceship. Yeah. It is it's so funny. I mean, because that whole thing, like I don't get what he's after. This is the one thing though, because there was you didn't have a reason to think he was a bad guy.
No, you never see. I think I've watched this film 3 times. I've got a vague awareness. I think that this was the time that I was most clear on things, but you never really saw him do anything bad.
No,
you never. You kind of like, you never have that kind of Star Wars moment where I would argue in the first Star Wars, it's like when basically, when Luke's uncle and aunt are killed, you're like, oh wow, these people are bad people.
Well, it's not just that in Star Wars. It's when he annihilates a whole entire fucking planet.
Oh yeah, and Alderaan, yeah. So there's key points where you're like, these are very, very evil. There's a reason that we need to fight this evil empire. I never really got a sense from this of why these people were bad, other than what Christopher Plummer attempted to explain to me in his strange hologram.
All I've got from Count Zarfan is he's a dude chilling on his pimp ship, and
And they've got a bad name. They're called like the League of Evil or something.
The League of Darkness.
Yeah, your League of Dark. Yeah, the Dark League of
The
Planets
Dark League.
The
Dark
something
League.
like that.
Is it something like that? Because
it's something where you're like, oh yeah, they're supposed to be bad.
Yeah. It's not a Star Warsy name at all, is it? I think it was my fault.
They do a sort of switcheroo where the Emperor in this is the good guy.
He kind of like but he is. He's just a guy floating around space in a floating strip club in bondage, and the Christian sect don't quite like it, and they're screaming, "Think of the children." He says
somebody think of the children.
It's always every single time I watch like an 80s or 70s horror film or sci-fi, there is somebody that brings that voice into my head of, will somebody just think of the children? He has a death ray, but you can't see it because it's hid behind a planet.
Yeah, his death ray's got like quite a cool. It's got like a sort of Death Star type name, hasn't it?
The Doom Ray.
I didn't note it down. Yeah.
It's called the Doom Ray.
Right.
Because he has the most epic call to it. It's like, get the Doom Ray. It is the most.
He looks excited about it.
It was the voice. It was the ham acting. It was everything. Oh, ham acting and death ray. Reminds me. What I was talking about earlier. I think I may have thought be around this a bit too much. Actually, looking at it, I will find out if I have. Let's have a gander. Wow. Yeah, it's about here. Yes, it's here. So right, I'm just going to try and get this. No, I've gone back too far. Yeah, we'll go from here. Fuck it. I can't be that delicate. So I picked this because this is the death ray, and for me, the death ray looks like you've just dumped a lava lamp into the room, and every single guy in this is an extra. Now, they are ham acting to like the hilts, but it's like 5 guys in a room trying to out ham each other is the best way I could put it. Let's just go in and watch this, right? And you'll see what I mean.
Let's watch them emote.
It gets worse and worse. My favorite one is this guy arching back. And now the escape ships that have not quite been finished in post-production. Ship flies off. Second ship flies off.
Slight wobble.
Exactly same footage. Number one, exactly same footage.
Into the Christmas lights.
Into the guys dying in a lava lamp. And then fireworks explosion. I love that scene so much. I'm not gonna lie. But that you just ham, more ham. Oh God. I love this. Again, love this film. But that's his secret weapon, right? It's literally, and apparently he's hiding behind a planet.
And is that the planet they have to find? There's a thing about finding a planet, isn't there?
Yes. There's yeah. So they have to find the planet, but so we should go into that because I think the planets are 3 acts. There's sorry. So our friend Tori's watching. She's just giggled at the fact that it looks like ping pong balls and the explosion. I don't know if you. Tori's the Yankee. She's a turncoat, as I keep telling her. I can see it now. There's middle fingers everywhere. But for me, it always reminds me of when you go at fireworks display, the carousel wheels. Every time it explodes, it's those little balls of fire that come off a carousel wheels. Every explosion in this film, by the way, is the shitty fireworks we used to get in the 90s. This is the only way I can explain it.
Colourful explosions.
So pretty. Tori's just said to me, throwing your tea in the harbour, mate.
Very good.
Cheers, Yankee Turncoat. Don't worry. The English will make America great again. She's so gonna kill me for that. Yeah, but yeah, I love this film again, and it is and I think that the fireworks adds to the campy fun. But yeah, going into the planets, for me, each planet was like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Because
the ice planet, there's the ice planet bit, isn't there?
Yes, yeah, the ice planet. But I was actually going to go into when she's been arrested and she's a prisoner. I mean, like,
oh yeah,
there seems to be some kind of uniform she's not a part of.
Yeah,
she got
for some reason she's excluded from that particular.
It's like everybody's in peasant clothes, and they put her in a leather bikini with massive fuck me boots on. Yeah,
she looks like she's going to catch her death of cold.
Somebody might as well have given her a whip and sent her into a room. Like it's pure dominatrix.
Is that before? Bitch. Is that before or after the Amazons?
It's before.
Right. Okay.
So this is where I'm going to go. Yeah. It's
yeah. Sorry for jumping the gun.
Bitch, please. Yeah, because this was the scene, like, because there was one thing that particularly annoys me, and you know what annoys me in this film quite a lot, is the reversal of a certain term. So she was like, "Well, we need to escape." Well, actually, they're treating her as like a slave and like making her like drop balls of radium into a hole whilst being scantily clad, so her skin's melting. And she's like, "We need to escape." As she actually says it herself, she's like, "If I do this for any longer, my skin's going to burn off." And then they're like, "The only way to escape is to get a gun." And then she starts this whole fight, and they call it a gun ray. As a sci-fi nerd, that really gets on my nerve. Yeah. No, Tori, we're not at that bit yet. She's just said Ray Rifle. Ray Rifle is another one.
I think that's all a lost in translation thing. It's probably just all written down on the script, like notes. Now, like, Caroline Monroe's like, "I'll just say everything," or something. Like, "I'll just say whatever's written down." Oh
god, I don't know if it's a direct translation, because sometimes there used to be a cartoon when I was a kid called Victor and Hugo. It was.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was David Jason. Now, the whole joke on that was actually the dialogue was basically French directly translated.
Right.
So when he would ask him what something is, he would say, "It is what I said it is," which is a direct translation. Like if you break it down in from French to English, and we just don't say it as long as the French do.
Right.
So yeah, and it is what I said it is. That's the joke. I'm wondering if that's how the script for this was done when they did it in English.
Yeah, like how stuff like that slips through.
Yeah. I wonder if it was a direct translation from Italian.
Because there's definitely some, like, I don't think it's bad writing. Well, it could be that as well, I guess. But there's some weird phrases in this film.
Yeah, there is some really weird stuff, and I mean, like, sorry, as you were talking to me, I was lining up another clip. Yeah, you're gonna love the clip I lined up. Yeah, there is a lot of weird dialogue in this film, and I'm wondering if it is actually just bad writing or actual just like direct translation from Italian. Where they
it's just a mixture of all of those bad things.
Just thrown together. Like the Italians are there. The Canadians are just given up trying to control these horny Italians. Like,
it's a subtitles and AD nightmare.
The ADR guys are like are a bunch of Steves, just chewing on their popcorn and just staring at the guy. I mean, there's not enough beer in the world. Yeah, it's the ADR in this is really weird, and we've said this earlier already. But there is certain points it is really strange. There's like the first time they talk to the space cops, and you've got you got 4 on the screen, and his mouth does not match up at all with what's being said.
No, not in the slightest.
No. They get away with it with L because he doesn't have a mouth. So yeah, but going back to the escape and the gun ray. Very fucking gun. Sci-fi nerd. So yeah, she starts this gunfight and then everything goes off. She kind of just turns around and walks out a door. Like this door has been open the whole time. You've seen it in the back of the screen, and she just walks out the door into a field. So she actually just started a gun war without needing to.
Yeah, unnecessary shootout.
Yeah. She just killed hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of people in an uranium mine.
When she could have just escaped.
I mean, she could have just walked out Make sure you close it behind you because it could be quite drafty. No, I hate people that leave doors open. So you're born in a barn. And then it's like that kind of really soft focus as she's running through the fields. The explosion on that is the explosion in most scenes in this film when they can't do the spirally and as Tori called ping pong bally moment. It's the glowy red thing and implode, which is quite lucky it imploded because it's full of radium. So she would have just died from radiation burns. So it's kind of lucky it imploded instead of exploded. So lucky.
She got off lightly.
Yeah. Not the people inside. The people inside are now like, have you ever played the game Fallout?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's like giant cockroaches and people like melted faces.
She's basically created a whole other sci-fi movie in there.
She's created the next Fallout game. Yeah.
She created the sequel. There is a sequel to this, isn't there?
There is. There is. I can't remember what it's called. It's called Escape from something. I'm gonna have to find out while we talk shit for a minute. It's. I'm finding out as we speak. It's really hard to talk while she's doing this, by the way. Escape from Galaxy 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Although it does have a poster that says Starcrash 2 as well, so it's both. And none of the cast are back by the looks of it. In fact, how is it even slightly the same?
I'm curious about this because I think it came up as like a suggestions thing on my YouTube when I was watching the first movie.
Not written by the same person, not directed by the same person, hasn't got any of the same people in it, not produced by anybody that was produced it originally.
It doesn't even reference. Oh no, this is Escape from Galaxy 3 with the same action-packed intergalactic punch as DEFCON and 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know what DEFCON is. Yeah, this doesn't look anything like.
But it says it's a sequel.
Yeah.
Fucking strange. All right, do you know what I'm going to get into? Because this links up to actually what I've queued up as well. Is the amazing Acton.
Oh yes.
And how he's not actually a character, but like
plot device.
I was going to call him Steve's weapon.
Steve's ultimate weapon.
It's like, how do we get out of this? Acton, come here.
Yeah.
to explain this, I will show this clip. Actually, I think. So I've got it lined up here. I think from this you might know which scene this is.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So this is in the bit you were talking about, the ice planet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is... So, to explain this, Acton's been knocked out and woke up again in the ship. And he gets into a fight. So, you can see what minute marker it's on if you ever want to watch this film.
If you want to go straight to this scene.
And it's just... So, as we said, this film... You can tell this film's on YouTube because this is the whole film. It's 1 minute 30. 1 hour 30. The film's not 1 minute 30 long. But, yeah. Here we go. I love this fight scene. Yes. Oh, yes. Now, I am going to show the whole fight scene because I have a feeling this is one of the studios will not sue me for copyright. But we're going to get to my point here.
Ooh.
And superpower. Is it just me? Does he look like he's holding in a really intense poo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. That ADR.
Mm-hmm.
it's so not intense for what he's saying, is it?
Yeah. The expression on his face in this bit is priceless. So yeah, this is the thing I think, like I referred to earlier. Like, is he like a robot, or has he got some kind of like force type power?
I don't know if he's an alien or a robot.
We find out he's got other powers as well, don't we? Like, we find out he can tell the future and things like that.
But this is the point. He's a plot device. Oh yeah, the future one. They turn around. He goes, "Oh, I can tell the future," and they go, "Oh, so why didn't you tell us about that before?" He goes, "Oh, it's against the law."
Yeah, that's just how it is.
I was like, but then again, when he says that, is he? Oh, Tori's just helped us. He's an alien. Thank you, Tori. I don't remember that being meant. Yeah. Tori agrees with us. It develops every ability exactly when you need it.
Right.
He really does.
Yeah, plot device.
He's a Steve device. Right. So, actually to say anybody that's just has actually joined this feed, I said this on the last live one, but I haven't released the episode, so I'm allowed to say it now. Steve is my character I created. He's a crowbar script writer. He's like, if there is a plot hole that needs to be filled, they bring in Steve, and he's just half-assed at letting, and it'll be just like the most, and it will just be the most mundane thing that he'll use to like fill a hole.
Yeah, to make the story, to sort of keep the story going in the most, off the hook way you can.
Steve invented Acton.
He's a pure Steve creation.
No, he really is, because there's points he pops up that he doesn't feel like he should have popped up, but he's just popped up to fill that because they couldn't work out how to get from A to B, so they go Acton.
Yeah, he kind of shows up out of the blue after they first meet Simon, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, with a lightsaber.
Quite funny, actually. Acton is German for warning.
Very good.
Very good. Yeah, that's the most intelligent thing that's going to be on this fucking podcast. Yeah, I'm getting close to like the 4-pint problem. He's He's a very strange character that they just used to crowbar stuff, and then he's like, and he's got bouncy, fluffy hair. My friend had a haircut like him, and let's bring his picture back up to explain this. Right, so you see that hair, that amazing bouffant.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can get a less blurry version.
It defies gravity.
Oh, it really does, doesn't it? Here we go. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. Look at that bouffant, man. That's amazing. My friend had hair like that. We nicknamed him Sheephead. I really hope he's not watching. He'll fucking hate me for that. Yeah, Sheephead. He on the ice planet. There's a line again. It's the same scene actually. It's when Caroline Monroe comes in after being frozen. And Elle says to him, use your powers to save her. There have been no explanation of his powers. We've just seen one happen.
Yeah. We see him sort of sodding about with his powers on the ship, I think, at one point.
Not even that, mate. Yeah. I mean, like, at the beginning of the film, all you know is he's a really good navigator, apparently. Which you also don't see any, like, examples of him navigating. You just get told, so you got to roll with it. Yeah. So then he revives. So he revives Caroline Monroe. And what I really love about that is when she's laying down, her hair's soaking, and as soon as she sits up, it's all fabulous and blown.
Thus is the power of Acton. And
also, if you're going to wake up like Caroline Monroe. Fucking fabulous. Just hair already done. Just get on with your shit, man. That's
ready to get on with her day.
And I'm now going to go into her now. Not in that way. It literally was like, I mean, like they were. So from what I understand with her character, actually, I'll be fair to this. The character is Stella Star, and the original working title of this film was The Amazing Adventures of Stella Star.
Okay.
So she was meant to be some form of like pure, like, kind of something the women could look up to in the 70s, like this pure power bitch. What they actually turned her into was Princess Peach from Mario. Like, had her like kidnapped every planet they went to.
That's interesting that she was supposed to be like the main protagonist.
Yeah.
It's interesting,
and it went to Acton somehow.
Okay.
It says it is.
That's interesting because when it started, it did kind of remind me of Barbarella.
Yeah.
Right. So it's funny that they kind of
and
they shifted the focus to the male characters.
I can actually see it turning more Barbarella as you go along, because even in Barbarella, she was like a pure power bitch, but she, like, every scene she lost more clothing. It kind of happens in this as well. but not as extreme, I'll be honest.
Carry on, Starcrash.
This is Euro trash in space. It's like it's just missing PP and Popo.
I can imagine this being serialized on Eurotrash. Like every week, we get a little bit more of Starcrash, like another clip from it.
Again, Tori's just popped up. She said, she's a badass heroine that somehow needs to be rescued at every turn. Yeah, there's like points where they're going on to. So you got a navigator on the ship, and they'll go to a planet they don't know, and she will say she doesn't know where she's going. But you've got the universe's best navigator on the ship. That made no sense to me. It's see. Even the police in the background on your end, mate. They know it's criminal. Do you know what? I'm going to go to my favorite scene with her, which is the Amazon scene. There's so many different reasons that's my favorite scene. This is
for people I know that have seen this film, that seems to be that is the most memorable bit for some reason.
I can't think why. How? Why? Could it be the horses that are painted? Yeah, that's it.
Striking colours.
Beautiful sets. I'm such a dirty old man. The thing is, with this scene, right, it's not just where people know we're going after I just said that. It's the first bit where you get in and like they find the crashed spaceship. Bloody hell, son! Whoop whoop! That's the sound of the police.
I think there is something going on out there, like maybe a gathering or that you're not supposed to have at the moment, or something like that.
Yeah, well,
I'm safely locked in here, so I'm all good.
If I hear a window smash, we're cutting this short, mate. Like,
yeah, if you hear like, go A squad.
If I hear you got to do the head with it. Fuck! I've lost my train of thought. Fucking police.
The Amazon scene.
Yes. I was thinking the big boobied ladies in fur bikinis. Boobs in space.
Yeah.
Right.
The Roger Moore James Bond movie scene. Just like...
Do you know what? If Roger Moore was in this, it would be the only scene he'd be in. It'd be like,
yeah,
it'd be literally go. Is there women in bikinis in fur bikinis in this?
It would be the only bit in the film where he's clearly actually on the set. In the rest of it, they'd have like they'd cut to him in the studio, being like, "Oh,
yes." This scene has a feel of like Avengers, Adam West, Batman,
Moonraker.
I love it. It's just the campus most sexist thing I've seen on screen. But it's this. Sorry, the crash space. Oh, that's where I was. The crash spaceship. Yeah, you see, the police can't stop me. The crash spaceship. They go. Nobody could have survived that. I was looking at going, no, nobody could. It looks like, you know when they made rockets on Blue Peter.
Yeah,
it was like 2 yogurt pots and a toilet tube. Exactly what it looked like. Like a couple of yogurt pots and a toilet tube. I was like, no, nobody could have survived that because it wouldn't have fucking flew.
It wouldn't have gone into space in the first place.
Would have burnt up before it even hit re-entry. It would have burnt up in the radiation of space. Like, and yes, I do know science. Nerds. Sorry, I'm just looking at the next bit. We're on the second bit. So, that's how flash I am.
Very good.
Yes. You can tell I work in a bar. Yeah, it's one of those for me. Like when you walk down that line of you look at this whole section, this whole planet is one of the most sexy things I've ever seen. It's sexist and sexy at the same time. That is a very hard thing to pull off. It's a very, very good scene, close to my heart. This is where you kind of see the. Do you know? The reason I'm stammering is I'm trying to find a way to talk about this scene without sounding like a dirty old man pervert. But this whole scene,
impossible.
Yeah, no, this whole scene forces you into dirty old man territory, where you think to yourself, "Oh, the head of the Amazon, she is a pretty lady." But I think we're moving on into. As we both said, that like Tori, that's commenting is one of our good friends, and it's one of her. It leads on to one of her favorite scenes later on, and I have a feeling she may type in a second what that favorite scene is. So keep it to yourself.
I think I know what it is.
Yes, I know, and we have a nickname for this certain thing. This Adonis. So what I love about this scene is you got that happen, and you got another version of the gun ray thing. Is the ray spear? Is serious to God? Is it a spear or is it a ray? Going on, and then the Amazons come over the sunset. The Amazons come over the sunset, and sorry, as I said that, Tori just said, you both got to know. I know exactly what your favourite scene is.
Mhm.
And Elle suddenly says, "Oh, there's Amazons coming over the sunset," and I'm sitting there going, "You didn't know where you were a minute ago."
Yeah, I found that, but I think that's in my notes. That's very strange. I didn't realize there was an Amazon in space. This is all very confusing to me.
Oh my god! Sorry, do you remember you asked me about that beer that's that says it's Iron Brew? It is. I don't normally talk about the beers we drink on the podcast, but that is Iron Brew. It tastes like Iron Brew. That's amazing. Nothing. But yeah, that really confused me because he kind of goes, "There's Amazons." I was like, does he actually know where he is, or is he just being really hopeful?
Yeah, or part of me tried to, like when you try to justify the logic of a film to yourself. I thought, well, maybe Amazons are they're like a spacefaring race in the world of Starcrash, and they recognise them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm retconning it.
I just like to think he was hopeful because they were lovely. Dirty old man. See, this is what that scene does to you. I swear down, I'm not that much of a pervert, right? But that whole Amazon scene, that's like teenage boy's dream. Oh my god, I've been arrested by Amazon women. Oh,
is there merchandise of this movie?
I have seen t-shirts, and I really want a t-shirt. To be honest,
Starcrash t-shirt.
I'm a wearable merch guy, as you can tell. I've got my Foo Fighters merch.
Very nice.
At my place. That's from the actual. I went to see them at the London Stadium, and
cool.
So, official merch as well.
Top notch.
Top drawer. So I'm doing that, and I realised like the OK fingers. And I realised after this, I'm going to be slicing this into audio, and all anybody's going to hear me say is, "Oh yeah."
Had to add in some audio description.
As Daniel does his OK fingers. Yeah, and they go in, and then you get that. I love the fight scene. I really want to see if I can find that whilst we're talking. Actually, I'm going to see if I can find that. Oh god, that's a bit far back. That's a bit far forward. Sorry. Bloody hell, where is it? Is it? Sorry, I'm confusing myself as we're sitting here. I found it now. I'm on the right scene. I'm just got to find the bit I'm talking about. Yeah. There it is. Found it. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is like really pure, like Adam West shit. You can see it now.
It's almost like slapstick fighting, isn't it?
Right. So now the people that have not seen this film, now you can see why this turns you into a dirty old man. They look fab. Let's go. Now, I love this. Oh!
Oh no, L's down.
Look at this. Oh.
Balletic.
It's Avengers, Adam West. After whooping like 5 asses, she gets dragged off by 2 people. Yeah, and the hand moves. Yeah, but that's what I was talking about when I come to this film. When you get those fight scenes like that, and that kind of like that kind of campiness, it makes it so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. God, we can now really talk about what I know is Tori's favourite scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I've lined it up as well, so she's going to be extremely happy.
I'm hoping I guessed right.
It's what we nicknamed the giant booby robot.
Hmm.
It is actually known as the Guardian, but it's always going to be known as giant booby robot to me. Now, the reason it's giant booby robot because it's a giant robot with boobs. Invented.
With no kind of in-universe explanation for what kind of function they serve.
Well, yeah, it's really strange because they have nipples as well. They look like they should be shooting lasers.
Yeah, I thought that was good. When I first saw this, I expected that to happen. I was like, oh, okay, they look like boobs, but they're probably like twin Death Stars.
Twin Death, yeah. Good pun. I'm proud of you, man.
Double DS.
They seem like a weakness as well.
Mm.
That's my issue. I'm going to make her extra happy. I'm going to tease her with the video. It's their giant booby robot.
The Guardian.
I've got to do this back to front. It's mirror image. Giant booby robot. If I do it mirror image, that fucks me again. Again, not drinking for 6 weeks, so I suddenly drink like 4 beers, and I've got mirror image shit going on.
What you need to do is you need to drink so much that it all makes sense again. It's just sort of like you go the other way. I
need to drink so much that I don't give a fuck anymore. Oh god, my language is the alcohol's there. The alcohol is there because I can hear my language. So what I am going to do whilst we're here, I'm going to play this. The lasers out their eyes really confused me. Booby robot.
There she is.
Yeah. Now, as again, I say, look.
So this is all very Ray Harryhausen, isn't it?
Yeah. Low budget Harryhausen. I don't think Ray even wants to be acknowledged as any form of influence on this.
Really easy to outrun as well, isn't it? Well,
this is the thing I don't get. They could have taken a break and built like a sandcastle by now.
Yeah,
made a day of it.
Put out deck chairs. The Guardian's still coming after us.
Hurry! That's so amazing.
Call that a knife? This is a knife.
No, that's a spoon, mate. Oh my god, that fall over is amazing as well. No.
No.
I mean, he could have done that ages ago.
Yeah, El's a bit rubbish, isn't he?
And here we go. And here's her weakness. Being shot in the boobs.
Oh, right. Okay.
They are a weak spot as well as being audaciously big.
Mm-hmm.
The Amazon air fight. Do you know what? That's the first time I clocked that line. Amazon air fighters will be here anytime soon. Right. I have a feeling there's deleted scenes in this film. I have a feeling that might have been a deleted scene.
Okay.
One of my favorite points in this, and it goes to a later scene. I feel this deleted scene I'm about to talk about goes to a later scene, and it is the fact that there is a deleted scene of stop animation dinosaurs.
Okay.
So
was that supposed? Do you know whereabouts in the film that bit was supposed to happen? So that's guessing after this.
I'm guessing I know where it is, and it's a bit we're going to talk about later. But
I know where it is.
Yeah, you think you know where it is as well. But yeah, I think I know where it is. To be honest, I think it might be the third and final planet.
Yeah.
But what I am going to say right now is, if you can't notice, I am dancing about a bit. So I'm just going to take a short intermission whilst I go to the toilet. So give me a minute, guys. Oh God, I'm back. Oh,
That's super speedy.
no. Sorry. As I left, Tori put a comment in saying it's annoying. She doesn't even shoot the lasers out of them as it looks like they should. Yes,
Yeah,
I would have flew with that.
They're not used for anything. It's a sore point.
Yeah, this is the problem with live. At moments like that, I was like, can I hold this in for enough time to talk about this? And it was getting closer and closer. I was like, no, I'm not weird myself live on air. Like, but yeah, they really do look like they should be shooting stuff, and they just don't. And I think the great thing about that whole scene is like that whole sequence, like the whole like the Amazon, it just felt like really unnecessary to the story and the plot.
Yeah,
and it was just a way to shoehorn in some women in bikinis.
Methinks this was the producers at work.
I don't think it was. I think it was
No?
the Italian. I fully think it was the Italians going Euro trash.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. We need to some eye candy in here.
Yeah.
What part of the movie can we shoehorn this into?
That's the thing. The whole thing of this, it like really screams Italians for me. This film, because at the time you got to realize they did. There's a film I'm thinking about doing, which because there's a lot of these films that the Italians will make like in America or employ loads of American people and rip off an American film and make it in a week and overpay people so that they will do it. So the one I was thinking of is called Road Tour.
Okay, I don't think I've heard of that.
It's the Italian version of RoboCop.
What?
Yeah, your face says it all. It's so Italian rip-off trash films are great, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there's a RoboCop one.
Oh man, sign me up! I can't wait.
I'm not going to find a picture here.
Yeah.
I'll show you when we finish.
It's for another podcast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but yeah, and there's a lot of this. So I mean, and a lot of those films have these trashy moments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, trashy moments are great. But this feels like that Italian moment where they just went, we're going to jam in some women in bikinis. That's amazing. That it is. I'm not gonna lie. It's not my favorite scene, but it has a place in my heart. It's I have to say, the leader of the Amazons is possibly one of the most attractive women I've seen on screen.
Wow.
No, because she's not like how do you put this? You know, when people go, "Oh, most beautiful women in the world," she's not like a glamour puss, like really like done up. She's just natural brunette kind of. Actually, Kylie Monroe is that as well. They're neither of them are really over makeuped.
Would you have liked to see the Amazon leader come back? Because that's their only bit, isn't it? She's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into that. this is where it could go all certain shades of wrong. Where I really do come out of this dirty old pervy man, and like, yeah, I'll go back. Yeah. In that, do it in my East London uncle voice. So yeah, I'd have her back any day.
Have you looked at her IMDb?
I'm not that much of a perv. I haven't gone through her CV to find out what films.
Yeah, not going to suggest like next film we do is.
I used to live with a guy, like, and before my friend Jen says it, no, it's not her husband. Who anytime he saw a girl in a film that he liked, he automatically went to his phone, and you could literally, he didn't care that anybody was there. He'd like literally be on Google searching up such and such nude. It was like, have they been naked on film? I'm like, dude.
I thought you were going to say he just looked up other films they were in. How naive of me.
No, we're innocent people. Whilst I drink my iron brew. It's not iron brew. I mean, he was a lovely guy, but I saw him do that a couple of times, and I'm not going to mention his name because he might be watching and he'll kill me for it because I think he's actually. We don't talk as often as we used to, but I know for a fact he has a kid and a wife now. So yeah, I mean this. That whole scene turns you into a dirty old man, and then you get a giant booby robot, which really doesn't help. That whole scene was set up for boobs and ends with boobs, and boobs being the kryptonite and downfall. So the
weak spot.
The moral of the story is protect your boobs and cover your boobs at all times. Boobs need to be protected.
Guarded. As like the Guardian guards the Amazons, I presume. Hence the name. But
she doesn't guard her own boobs, man.
Nope.
So yeah. I already really want to swiftly move on. I've been perving too much. So they move on to the next planet after this. After all of this, and so the next planet's the ice planet, which we've already spoke about because we showed the fight. There's nothing really much going on with that ice planet.
Yeah, they literally just lie down and get frozen.
And then get revived, and Acton shows you he has powers.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the final planet, which is the one with the cavemen.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where fully I see the dinosaur scene being cut from. Because we're going down the fact that the director is really heavily influenced by Ray Harryhausen. Ray Harryhausen had this thing about putting like cavemen and dinosaurs together. There is a going on this, talking about another bad film. You know how I keep doing this. I keep going, oh, there's another bad film that does something kind of similar, something kind of weird. There's a film I'm trying to find, really, really desperately trying to find, called The Beast of Hollow Mountain.
Okay.
And it's a sci-fi western with dinosaurs.
Sci-fi western? With dinosaurs as well?
Yeah. So the film is quite racist, actually. But it's racist to Mexicans quite a lot. So it's like Donald Trump's wet dream. But it's right, because I want to get through this really quickly. It's a cowboy that is herding sheep, and they keep him disappearing, and he can't work out why. And then suddenly he walks out one day to see what I can describe as a T-Rex stealing his sheep.
Okay.
But it's that Ray Harryhausen stop animation, which is where I was getting to with this.
Right, okay. That's the link.
That's the link. It was a tenuous link, but it was a link. For me, sorry, 1 minute. As I was doing this, it suddenly went, I'm trying to line up something. I mean, it's like Ray Harryhausen, like dinosaur-esque thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I can fully see it, like being Ray Harryhausen, like dinosaur thing.
This feels the most natural fit for dinosaurs.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Sorry, as I'm trying to get that point across, I'm trying to find my favorite scene. Which you know what it is, because that's where we're going to get to in a second.
I think I know it. I think because I'm thinking about where we're at now with the film. I think I know what it is.
Yeah. I've got it. Sweet. So this is the third planet. So as I described this film, every planet is an act, and this for me is the third and final act. But then again, this film doesn't really finish. It keeps an ending.
You think it's wrapping up a few times? I don't. That's what I noticed today because I kind of forgotten how it ended, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the end." Oh no, it's not. It's carrying on again.
It does. What was the other film that did that we were talking about before? There is another film that does this, and it's another bad film, and it's a very bad film trait. It's like, oh, that's the ending, done. Oh, what fuck?
Yeah,
oh, it was Hard Ticket to Hawaii. That film ended 4 times. Like, I really suggest, like, anybody, even if you haven't listened to that episode of Hard Ticket to Hawaii, watch that film. Fucking amazing.
It's good fun.
Oh, if you love trash and you love boobs, you'll love Hard Ticket to Hawaii. But yeah, so they go to this planet. Elle and Stella get off, and they kind of like get attacked by these cavemen. The cavemen attack Elle with a rock and blow his head up. Again, Stella gets kidnapped. What I love is, like, the first time I said this to you because I didn't notice it the first time, I noticed it the second time, and I actually know a fact about the mask now, and I will tell you about this in a minute.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
But they walk off the spaceship, and then this gold mask sits up and watches them walk on. And then that's kind of the setup. They get beaten up. This guy in the gold mask stands up and starts shooting laser beams out of his eyes and kills them all. Then he rescues Stella Star, which then leads into my favorite scene. This scene. Oh, 1 minute. Why is my search bar still up there? Go away! Go away. We'll get rid of you. Then you get this scene. Now, this is amazing. So you can see the gold mask here. And we'll unmute this. It's... Oh, God. I don't even want to talk over this. This is amazing. Because the reason it is my favourite scene is the lines. Like... It's so good. No, not many people know why I'm laughing at this, but you've had all these names like Stella, Thor, Acton, Lord Zarfan, and there was, what's your name? Simon. Like,
I think this comes back to what we were saying about the script maybe taking things too literally. That maybe that was like a placeholder name.
Right. So I said to you, I have a fact about that gold mask.
Oh yes.
Right. I know the reason it's in the film.
Okay.
So, the Hoff on the days of recording caught food poisoning. But they couldn't delay the filming. So for a few days whilst he had food poisoning, they put an extra in that gold mask.
Oh, that's really weird because I know this is sort of off topic, but I'm pretty sure there's a story about the Hoff having some stomach problems when he started filming Knight Rider. Like,
was he eating burgers off the floor?
Maybe that's when he started the habit, and he didn't learn his lesson. I'm sure I've seen an interview with him talking about the early days of Knight Rider, saying that right at the start he wasn't too sure about how things are going because he had some kind of stomach issue. So, it's getting himself into food scrapes quite a lot, it seems, Mr. Hoff.
Yeah. So that's the reason behind the gold mask. I mean, you always said when we watched it, it was really weird that they did that.
Yeah. Very strange.
Especially since the end, we were thought, maybe they're like delaying the introduction, but then you were like, actually, he wasn't a big name at the time, so to delay the introduction of the Hoff it's
odd. Like he should just be a bloke stalking them. Like I don't. And the reason given for him wearing a mask is something about energy or something.
Yeah,
like
so
that.
it's just as you said, it's an energy mask, but it's just run out of power.
Right.
Steve.
Yeah.
Because
that's Acton levels of just there.
Because that's the only reason to bring Acton back. Because that's when Acton turns up with a fucking lightsaber.
Oh yeah, when it goes full Star Wars.
But it's not a lightsaber. I can't remember exactly what they called it, but it's not lightsaber.
Right.
But it is a lightsaber. It's
a light Swiss Army knife.
Light stick.
Yeah, it's a laser sword. Something like that.
It's something stupid. Stupid. Yeah, I mean this scene is like when Acton turns up, he turns up and he's like, I was watching somebody talk about this film and they made a very valid point actually. Is anybody actually needed if Acton's there?
No.
Acton could have done this all by himself.
He's like the reverse of L.
And I literally
who is
thinking
rubbish.
about it, he spends his whole time saving everyone. And he just and
he can see the future. So he knows this is all happening.
He must know what's going to happen to he must know what's going to happen to him. Plot hole? Or is it a plot hole? Or are we not thinking deeply enough? I have a feeling it's plot hole, and I'm thinking deep as I need to think.
Yeah, I think this is on the script writers. This one.
just as somebody didn't follow their own fucking notes in the columns. I I love this. I love the fact that so when he does save them, he goes, "Oh, this is Count Zarfan's planet."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the door's only 20 foot away from them. How the fuck did they not spot this?
It's not observant enough. It's because the Hoff was wearing that big helmet thing.
It's
his vision.
It's a 60-foot door with fucking dry ice everywhere, purple lights, green lights. Everything's made of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's made of plastic.
Everything was made on Blue Peter.
It's all made of plastic. Count Zarfan is in PVC. I mean, he hasn't done anything bad except against the environment. I mean, if you're going to say he's evil, it's more to do with his carbon footprint. He's burning petrol. His outfit's made of PVC, and all of his spaceships are made of plastic. Eco warrior, he's not. I think that's about as much as evil as Count Zarvan's done at this point.
Big carbon footprint.
He's killed a panda. Sacrificed an otter. They get into this room, and I think the point they make is that all the domes in that room are making people think the bad things are happening when they're not actually happening.
Yeah, they're kind of like self-aware computers or something like that. I think they say, don't they?
Yeah, so they make people think the bad things are happening, but the bad things aren't actually happening, but it keeps the people in control. And you think, so what are you actually fighting? What are you fighting? You're fighting mind control, but I haven't seen any evidence of this. Now, that'd be a really interesting concept if I'd seen it.
Right. If they'd actually shown that kind of like people visualizing stuff in action.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've seen that before in a film somewhere. I'm sure we have.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like a concept that somebody hasn't come up with before. But it's an interesting concept. But you haven't done it.
Yeah, it's just a line of dialogue. It's never actually like they don't give you any examples of it, any demonstration of it.
My issue of this though at this point is like you've literally given me a film of boobs, and then you try and throw this really weird deepness into it.
It's confusing, inconsistent.
I'm like, no, be camp, be schlocky, get Adam West out, bring out Adam West.
This isn't Chris Nolan.
I've said to you before, personally, I as much as I love Christopher Plummer, the perfect person to play the Emperor in this film is Adam West.
I could see him in that role. Yeah.
I've said it to you before. I could fully imagine Adam West rolling out late for a Zoom meeting. Like, oh my god, you can tell I haven't drunk for that long.
What's that?
I just spilled it all over my face. Yeah. I'm gonna. This is the same with the stop animation and the rolly roundy lightsaber fighting.
Yeah, it's got those kind of like robotic. They're kind of like ducks. They look like robot ducks. Is that correct? Is that what
they kind of move like?
Yeah, it's all very like.
Dame arigato, Mr. Roboto. There's so many people that don't get that joke. If you love trash films, you love trash rock music, you're on my team. 1 minute. This feels really dangerous. Oh, it's not so dangerous. Yeah, I mean, this is the scene where you see like so. This is the scene where you've got Acton having the lightsaber fight, and it just he seems useless. He's actually he dies by being grazed.
Oh yeah, he has the death scene, doesn't he?
Yes, this is the death. So I was trying to think of how to phrase that. So he's grazed in this.
Yeah,
scene.
It's sort of like on his shoulder, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I died now.
Yeah, which is it's really confusing given all the powers that he's supposed to have.
This is why I'm drinking a really extra thick fruity beer.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean he's like has all this rolling around, has his fighting swashbuckling moment, and they literally graze his shoulder. But the thing is, when they graze his shoulder, like sparks fly out. And then he's like, I'm dead now. And Stella has that amazing line of, you're my most human friend.
Yeah. And she goes on to say, I don't understand, you never die. Which is, that feels like a lost in translation line from the script.
This is the point I was saying to you earlier. Victor and Hugo straight translations is like literally like it must make sense in Italian but doesn't make sense in English.
Yeah,
that's the best way I can put that. It's it's a bit I don't like the way my face screwed up there, but yeah, it is a really weird line, and the fact that Acton can see into the future, can suddenly switch on this anti-kryptonite power he has.
Yeah.
He can... There were so many things he could do. It was just really weird that the one thing that killed him was...
grazing his shoulders.
Yeah. It just... This is when we see Hasselhoff roll and be an absolute boss with a lightsaber.
Oh yeah. He's actually pretty good with it, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It made me kind of imagine an alternate universe where the Hoth was part of the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, I don't think it's cheesy enough for him.
No. This is perfectly pitched for the Hoth.
I love the Hoth. Like, did you see in lockdown he's actually released a heavy metal single?
What? No,
I will send it to you later. It's fucking amazing. It's everything you want from the Hoth. It's he's powering like vocals, and this is like proper heavy metal behind him.
Brilliant.
And it's like Scandinavian heavy metal as well, so it's all really fast notes.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like it would really suit him, and I kind of get the sense that like Hoff fans, like he knows his audience.
It wasn't even him; it was the band's idea, and they did a Kickstarter for it.
Okay, man,
so
good for them.
It's a Kickstarter funded single.
Okay, absolutely
amazing. It's trash.
I look forward to annoying my neighbours with that later tonight.
I will send that to you later. It's great. I sat there. I was like, "Oh my god, this is everything."
Yeah, I feel like actually, when I think about it, I think that this film really benefits from David Hasselhoff because he's got that total cheesiness that he almost makes me believe the world in this film because it's so on his level.
I think the thing with Hoff is I think he knows. I don't think at this point he knew.
No.
I think now he knows.
Yeah, this is when he's clearly trying. He's trying in everything he's appearing in.
Well, yeah, Hoff's a boss.
Understandably.
I had a computer game when I was younger. Actually, I still have the console, so it should still be on there. Oh god, I'm gonna dig that out. Mm-hmm. It was on the PS3. It was a game called Pain.
Oh yeah.
And the whole idea of the game was you just fired people out of slingshots at stuff. And then there was an update one year, and they put David Hasselhoff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you could literally fire David Hasselhoff out of a sling, out of a slingshot. But the thing was, whilst you're doing it, you could do tricks. So you could do like poses and like things like this as you're going through the air. And one of them was Hoff doing this. And as he's doing it, all you could hear was these girls in the background screaming. And I was just like, I fucking love this game.
I have to say that shooting people out of slingshots kind of sounds like the end of this film when they shoot people in missiles.
Good link. Yeah, the Trojan horse dildos, as I call them.
Yeah, that's really weird. I always forget about that. When I was watching it tonight, I was like, oh yeah, that did really happen. They fire missiles and people get out of the missiles.
Now, as a son of a scientist, it annoyed me. Because they're breaking windows in space and nobody got sucked out. But at the same time, I accepted it in the world of Starcrash.
Yeah. In terms of Starcrash physics, that probably makes perfect sense.
It makes a lot more sense than a lot of the stuff that happens in this fucking film, right? I'm not near. There's a lot of like physics breaking stuff, and this is like the least of the worries. I do have to say, that scene's great. That's the scene where we see the strip club in space.
Yes,
the strip club in space. This is my personal, as I say, he's still my personal favorite. I don't know if it is a favorite character, but he's the one I love the most. He's the one that seems to be having the most amount of fun. Count Zarfan, Joe Spinell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's in his element.
Well, for me, it's almost like he knows where he is and what it is. Mm-hmm. And when you think of it in that sense, like, he goes, you can see in his face, he kind of knows it's a trashy movie.
Mm-hmm.
So he just goes, I'm going to Saturday morning cartoon laugh this fucking shit out, mate. I'm just going to be, I'm Dracula.
I'm going to ham it up to 11.
It's great. And I'm down with it. Do you know what? I really love it when we watch these films. I really love that guy that you can clearly see knows what he's in. So he just rolls with it. And he goes, do you know what? I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. I am going to just have some fucking fun with it. I kind of generally dislike the guys that are in these films that take it too seriously and try to act and clearly can't act. Whereas the guys that can act go into it, this is shit. This is a shit film. I'm going to have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
They are my favorite people in any B movie. You look at like Christopher Lee when he did B movies. He used to be like that.
Yeah. He loved it.
Yeah, just have fun.
Yeah. Just turn up, make the most of it.
The thing with B movies is if the person that is acting in the film is having fun, you're having fun with them.
Yeah.
That and generally, that's how I feel like when we watch some of these films. There's an episode. It's the next episode after the one I'm going to drop this week is going to be Chopping Mall.
Oh yeah.
I'm dropping Chopping Mall next week, and Chopping Mall's got people in that you can just tell are having fun.
Yeah.
And then you end up enjoying the film, even though it's really bad.
Yeah, it comes across that sense of someone enjoying the role they're in and what they're doing.
And that was Joe Spinell in this film. I mean, as much as the film is not a great film, you end up enjoying it because the person you're watching is enjoying it, and that just rubs off.
Mm.
And that was a really long-winded way of getting there, but I got there. Oh God, this is amazing. Oh yeah, I really can taste that. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back. So all these Trojan horse things being fired through windows, nobody being sucked out, nobody dying from lack of oxygen, and like nobody's actually really shooting each other.
Yeah, that's what I noticed the most this time watching it was that I was like, they're firing these people, and these people are turning up on the ship in missiles, but there's not really. Is it a battle that's going on? It's just a lot of people running around.
It is, and like. You get to a point where everybody kind of kills everybody. Is that the only survivor is Count Zarfan? Like, literally, all the windows have been taken out. You've got a space battle outside. You've got the space battle. Every ship is the same ship. It's the same clip, either reversed, upside down, or Count Zarfan's ship is a fist that closes like that. I'm not even lying. It looks like this.
Yeah.
And it goes like that.
Yeah. Clenched fist.
Ships fly through it. It does the whole Death Star thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the Trojan thing that gets me, because there's nothing really much else to talk about on that scene except for the Trojan horse dildo. They're meant to be missiles, but they look like dildos, golden dildos.
It does sort of feel like the perfect, final battle for this kind of movie.
But it is really weird because like it feels like it's the last scene as well.
Yeah, I in my head I thought it was the end. I was like, oh no, actually, it's bits after.
Right, we're doing perfect timing here actually, because we're getting to the wrap up now. Because I think this is now we've done all this. I'm not even gonna. The only thing I can say about the way they defeat Zarfan is it reminds me of Austin Powers when you got the slow steamroller.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to crash a ship into another ship, and it's just really, 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 really slow. And that's the only thing I can say about that. And then Christopher Plummer does his amazing monologue, which now brings a tear to our eyes because he's saying it's the end, but it's not the end, Mr. Plummer. So I'm going to do a wrap up here. My wrap up is basically going to be like opinion, but I think we've said our opinion numerous times today. Unless you've got something else, Jimmy, you can think of that I haven't mentioned. Just that this is a fun movie. It feels like perfect. This is perfect bank holiday viewing. Like this felt like the sort of film I would have a more sexy version of a bank holiday movie. If Ray Harryhausen crashed into a Carry On movie. This for me is Hangover TV. Now, yeah, just switch off and look at the sexy ladies and laugh at the badness. So, stumbling home from the pub movie and Hangover the next day movie. Just put it on twice. You won't remember it from the night before. So it's a great film.
Yeah.
I love this film, and it gets such a bad rap. To be honest with you, so what I'm going to leave it on is the fact that we didn't pick this film because Christopher Plummer, but Christopher Plummer happened after we planned it out. So I'm going to say Christopher Plummer brought a lot of joy to my life and a lot of joy to others. So it's very sad to see a man of that magnitude and that talent. And I mean, he wasn't. I wouldn't class him as old at all. I mean, by today's standards of age. So it's such a loss to such a great talent. So
doing great work up to the last with Knives Out, and I can say that every single Christopher Plummer performance I've seen is iconic in itself, and as a result, those movies are iconic in my mind. So
the only Shakespearean Canadian actor I can think of, and absolute dude. Either way, guys, whoever joined us, Tori, definitely you did. I can see the amount of fucking comments you made. Thank you for joining us, guys. And I will be this is live now. This episode will be released as an audio next month. Last month's will be released this weekend. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. To quote Plummer, for a little time at least, we can rest.